and the authority of the department. And also, well, we agree with the inclusion of the indigenous peoples, Intramuros administration, and the other agencies because this really, the different agencies could be strengthened as compared to the present, where they are attached to the office of the president, which really means very little in terms of influence and authority, and their attachment to a department would, I believe, strengthen them substantially. And the final comment that we had in our paper was really an afterthought, and this is, and we're not really aware of everything going on in government, but there is one agency that we feel belongs to the department. It is now with the Department of Foreign Affairs, and this is the UNESCO National Commission. The UNESCO National Commission is part of the Department of Foreign Affairs, but it is responsible, among other things, for UNESCO grants for education, culture, and sports, which is the area of UNESCO, and it is responsible for the structures that are listed in the UNESCO World Heritage List, San Agustin, Miagao, Paway, etc. And so I think the attachment to the department would be appropriate. So these are some of the comments that the
Thank you so much.
Cultural
That's
Center would
very
like to submit.
comprehensive. Thank you, Chair Laya. And I noticed in your comments the UNACOM, which is under DFA. I'm glad DFA is here. I think UNACOM is also represented here. That's not in the original bill, but I take note of that. And yes, that's a possibility. Just like NCIP was not in the original bill, we're contemplating not just if they agree, because if they agree, they're not going to be there forever naman. This is institutional, right? So we see. But UNACOM, which is under DFA, attached lang siya. Hindi naman nakikialaman DFA din sa UNACOM. So pwede naman i-attach rin sa Department of Culture. But so that's a good point. I'd like to hear now from the NCCA that was not in your original bill given to us. Should the UNESCO agency under the DFA also be considered as under the Department of Culture?
That is worth reviewing because the mandate of UNACOM is only not just culture. No, UNESCO Philippines covers education, media, sciences. No, it just so happens that our profile in culture, because of the World Heritage, Memory of the World, the 2000 Convention, it's very, very high. No, it's very extensive. I think our representative from UNACOM is Siraji, and he knows exactly that other than their culture section, they also have other sections that look into the other pillars of UNESCO.
Because it's just one of, culture is one of the 5 pillars, it does not necessarily mean that it must be under the Department of Culture. So tama yung DFA? It's always been there ba since it was created, the office was created? May we hear from the UNESCO? It's headed by a Director General, right?
Yes, it's
What do you
Good
call
morning
the head?
po.
Si Ivan Inares.
yes po. He's our Secretary General, Madam Chair.
Sec-Gen
Yes.
ang tawag. This is created by law also?
Yes, opo.
Oh.
And since then, we're under po of Department of Foreign Affairs.
Yes, it was, so maybe all of this that have their specific laws creating it, whether GOCC or hindi GOCC, but lodged under departments, we have to study that. So this is really not just, parang civil service, government reorganization din to, aaralin natin, hindi simple. Oo. Yeah, okay, just tell us please yung the law that created you at sinabi ba sa batas under DFA kayo? Can you check?
Oh, yes po. Historically, na-create din po kami with our own RA. And then, meron din po mga institutional changes as historically. So, first naging sa OP and then sa DFA na din po for the longest time po ang UNACOM since again po as explained po by Chair Cerudo, ayun po, talagang wide din po talaga yung scope although ngayon po talaga na-highlight po yung role po ni UNACOM in terms of like cultural affairs and matters because of our priorities.
I am told that in the creation of the office, it on section 1, it already stated that you must be under DFA. Is that correct? Correct us if it's not accurate. Tama ba yung sinabi mo?
I'll have to review po yung mismong bill, yung aming
so
RA
ganito,
lang.
lahat ng ahensya.
Chair, may I make a comment?
Yes, Chair
I
Lai.
was the Minister of Education, Culture, and Sports, and I was not a member of the UNACOM. And right now, the Cultural Center of the Philippines, and I think the NCCA are not members of. Is NCCA a member of UNACOM? In other words, the way it is structured is that the agencies responsible for culture and education, at least, are not even members of UNACOM.
Yes, Madam Chair, I'd like to respond po. We have actually 5 sectors. One of them is education and another po dun sa 5 is culture. So we have actually commissioners. We call them as commissioners. And even though po hindi din complete yung commissioners, we work a lot with our trifocal agencies po, with DepEd, CHED, and also po TESDA. And
Yes,
also-
I understand that, but as I said, when I was Minister of Education, we had no voice. So it kind of depends, I guess, on someone, not institutionalized.
This is a 1951 law. So, no, it's worth looking into because Chair Laya's correct. Well, they have their own commissioners for the different sectors, education, etc. Not necessarily, let's say, the DepEd secretary or the CHED chair, not necessarily, but other commissioners representing those sectors. Yun ang pagkaintindi ko, no? Kaya nga, dapat silipin din. Pero huwag kayo manginig. Huwag kayo mangatog. Kung happy kayo kung saan kayo. Mukhang sa dinig ko naman sa NCCA, hindi naman kayo kailangan dahil kultura ay isa sa 5 haligi ninyo. Yeah. Okay. Sige. Yes, Jeremy, I'd like to hear your views.
I just
because-
wanted to jump in on that. I think UNACOM is a worthy subject for its own bill. Having worked with other countries' UNACOMs, like China UNACOM, Thailand UNACOM, I can see that we may be a little bit behind the curve on really harnessing the potential of our engagement with UNESCO here in the Philippines. So that may be, if Ivan was here, I would suggest to him that, and he must have been thinking about it, what a bill could do for UNESCO National Commission of the Philippines.
It does not
To strengthen it in
necessarily-
all of its aspects.
Yes, it
yeah.
does not necessarily have to be subsumed under the new DOC, but another bill strengthening UNACOM.
Yes.
I'd love to do that. Yeah, perhaps Mr. Florido, could you ask you call Ivan Sekjen, yes, to study it? He's always traveling. Yeah, he's very bright. He's always just traveling. Could he stay put? Yeah, and study. No, it's probably official travel, yeah. He's very bright and he's very good in many, many things. I'd like to sit with him and study your 1951 law, which created you, and yes, how to strengthen UNACOM, because it's like, lahat na kasi na maliliit na mga attached sa ahensya, napapabayaan eh. Tapos kanya-kanyang galaw, ganun, walang, sayang. Our engagement with UNESCO could be on a higher, broader plane, more visible, etc. And coordination with the agencies related to the mandate of UNESCO. Education, culture, ganun. Anyway,
Yeah.
so, hindi natin pipilitin under but we can even strengthen them. Okay? Kayo po. Yes, NCIP Director po, Angelo.
Yes, maraming salamat, Madam Senator, for inviting us to join us this meeting. Si Chair Pasqua, Your Honor. Sure. For the NCI, yeah, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm from Kalinga, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor. Yes, thank you, Your Honor. For the NCIP, we interpose no objection to both the bills. Pero sinusuportahan namin yung bill na maging department yung culture. Kasi magiging specialized agency siya at ang culture ay isa sa mga mandato namin na i-preserve. At kung nagkakaroon ng department ay mas sana mapaigting yung ating unglayan. May reservation lang kami na pag nagkaroon ng Department of Culture, it should be harmonized with the provisions of IPRA on consultation process or the FPIC process for the documentation of the respective cultures of the indigenous peoples. There are more or less 222 ethno-linguistic group dito sa Pilipinas na kung saan ay meron silang kanilang mga kultura at kaugalian na kung saan dapat ma-emphasize yung culture sensitivity. Yun po. Kung sakali man itong strengthening ang mapag-usapan natin, mapag-agreean ng mga honorable congressman natin ay maging ano rin sana kami, maging member of the board para at least ma-inject namin yung mga provisions na kakailangan in accordance with the provision ng IPRA. Maraming salamat po. Yeah. For the ano lang namin yung sa ano lang siguro yung collaborative agency, hindi kami under ng Department of Culture because by virtue of Republic Act 371 under po kami ng Office of the President, kaya lang po kami napupunta sa DNR sa DSWD dahil kulang po ang aming budget. So in terms siguro dito sa culture, we will be under the mapapag-usapan natin yan at we will submit our respective comments and recommendations and position paper na alam namin na nakakatulong po dito sa bill. Maraming salamat po.
Chair Saludo.
Sige. Just to add on, no, regarding the case of UNESCO Philippines, no, siguro if there will be any move to strengthen also yung UNESCO, of course, advantage na talaga, no, yung culture. But suffice it to say, marami kasing mga UNESCO from other countries na nakalodge sa DepEd nila. Kasi education talaga ang UNESCO, dissemination, because ang motto nga nila yung if the wars are in the minds of man, then it will also be the decisions of man that will, start peace. So yung ganitong mindset, it's really changing the mindset of, humanity. Education is very crucial. At the same time, even the sciences. Ang science ng UNESCO, ibang level din talaga. No? So, I hope na if there will be any areas na ma-advance na kung saan department din siya mag-align or independent siya, dapat mabalanse properly, no, yung iba pang mga sectors na UNESCO.
So we're back to the original agencies which are under the NCCA, and the suggestion to have UNACOM, that's for further study, but because culture is just one of the 5 mandates or pillars, so that has to be studied, and because the law that created them placed them under DFA, right? And just like NCIP, the law that created the NCIP placed them under the Office of the President, right? Under the OP, yeah. But of course, when we create this law, when we enact it, if we do, it will repeal whatever laws. That's why it has to be studied talaga. Not just the willingness of the personalities who are heading it, because they're not going to be there forever. But it's really institutional ano ang dapat, ano ang bagay. And it's good to review it because 1951, ibang-ibang pananaw nun. Who else would like to speak about Jeremy? Yes, about the import because you've been pushing me.
Yes.
Actually, nasa back burner na to. Ginagawa ko na lang yung low-hanging fruit. Aklan Piña, napasa natin, schools of living tradition, kasi ayoko na ng gulo, resistance, parang pipilitin, ganun. Then Jeremy kept on telling me, why don't you, during your election, I think that was discussed, and you wanted it to be a legacy issue, a legacy law under your chairmanship. Then Jeremy said, yeah, let's work on Department of Culture again. Okay, sige.
No, I
Thank you, Barnes.
just wanted to put on record, ma'am, my support for what our former Chair Eno and present Chair Eric have been saying, as well as Chair Jimmy, of course, and add the National Museum's unequivocal support for the DOC. As I've had the privilege of manifesting in all previous hearings since this first was filed in 2013 and then 2016 again. The 2016 filing was in conjunction with the new National Museum Bill, and our National Museum Bill prospered to become RA 11333. Unfortunately, the DOC bill didn't go along with it. But we've been consistent in really trying to find ways to support the strengthening of NCCA and NHCP. These are the two other agencies the National Museum sits on. And it's really consistent with our own efforts inside the National Museum to strengthen ourselves. And so over the years, we've really seen the gaps and weaknesses in the NCCA, even as its mandate keeps growing, its scope of work keeps growing, and the under-resourcing it suffers from also keeps growing. So while just elevating the NCCA to a department will not be a magic bullet, there's a lot of hard work to do, a lot of people to bring together. It's definitely the right direction for all the reasons that the chairpersons have articulated, but also because we who have been on the board of NCCA, Eno and I have been on the board for more than 15 years. We've really believe this is the way to go to give NCCA, or the work that NCCA does, the proper resources. Yeah.
I see it. I sit on your board now this past few years, and if you're not given priority, I mean, to put it
Yes.
very bluntly, and if I did not amend your budget and to listen to all your needs, your NEP would be so low and you're largely ignored. Sorry to say that.
Yes. That was how.
I don't want to say this, but buti na lang pinapansin ko ito. Kundi
Yeah.
kawawa naman talaga NCCA and all the agencies. You really have to literally beg for your budgets and you're largely ignored.
Yes.
But since perhaps 2013, from a time of Chair June, Chair Rio, I've worked closely with all of you. You've seen how I tried to uplift, to support. Tapos pati nga NEFCA nyo, yun ang pinapagamit sa inyo sa operations. Parang inaapi talaga ang kultura.
Yeah.
Kaya napapanahon na. Ang tagal nang inaapi, nakikita ko. Ramdam ko, kaya naman, binubuhos ko sa inyo hanggang kaya.
Yeah.
So,
Actually, ma'am, when you bring us together like this, we can, I for one can sense the Department of Culture in the room, you know. And then number two, the sustainability. Yes, we're very mindful that we can't rely on your support forever. And so we really need to find ways of changing the framework.
you're correct.
Yeah.
Mas ako na 2 years, kasi not just there 2 years. Then, at least, nandiyan na
Yes.
yung lahat, di ba?
Yes, po. Exactly. Exactly.
Because when I'm gone, the budgets I add, the hundreds of millions for programs will not happen.
Yes.
It won't happen.
So that's a very real topic in our minds.
Yes.
How can we rearrange our institutions?
All of us will not be here forever. Maybe 1 or 2 years, 2 years. That's it.
Yeah.
And you'll be the back burner because the national narrative, it's politics, it's, it's infrastructure, economic development, which they don't realize culture is at the core of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So,
but to answer your questions at the outset, I'd like to underscore our view that the Philippines really needs a Department of Culture, and that the time is right to do it
time
now.
is now. Okay,
Yes.
we have 2 years to do it, and I'd like to, based on what I hear, having of course the esteemed, distinguished former chair of NCCA as well. We have 3 chairs here, right? And Jimmy's suggestion, we just have to study which agencies. But for me, let's start with the agencies which are already under NCCA. I mentioned already yung hindi isasama pero magkatrabaho together, right? Tapos NCIP, gusto pero tignan natin din yung ibang mandato nila kung sakop ba ng Department of Culture. Then UNACOM, maybe you stay first with DFA. Okay, so the next question, pasensya na, I was eating my breakfast while. So clearly, everyone agrees that there must be a Department of Culture because it clarifies the institutional gap, the structural necessity, it will also cure the duplication of tasks, and it will give the departments or the agencies more a closer coordination and better support. Yeah. Okay, so next, what specific governance failures or coordination problems under the current setup justifies consolidating all the cultural policy, regulatory, and programmatic functions into a single department? In short, the way you are now, ano ba ang ano mga problema nyo? Bakit nyo kailangan maging department, not the way you are now under a commission with a chair? Ay, yes, have you been recognized? Sorry. Have you recognized Katie nga?
Ma'am, she
Yes,
just arrived
yes.
po
President
a few
Katie
minutes
nga.
ago.
Oo,
We
hindi na
recognize
recognized.
President Katie nga
Yes,
from
who
the
else
CCP.
arrived late, so recognize always. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. Okay. Ah, you'd like to speak? Okay, Kay.
It's okay.
You
Okay.
recognize,
Sorry. Sorry. Sorry for my tardiness, but I'd just like to add why we feel it's also important to have our own Department of Culture. One of the mandates of CCP, beyond promoting arts and culture and nurturing artistic excellence, is to develop an arts appreciating public. I think that's something that maybe we have really not done the best job, and we are limited as to what we can do. Lately, we've been hearing in the news, reading about it, on how Filipinos are very low in functional literacy, meaning we are very poor in critical thinking and understanding. And studies have proved over and over again that the study of arts and culture is a very important tool for to develop a more I hate to say it, not more intelligent, but a more critical thinking populace. That is why if we have a Department of Culture, we are really able to bring all the different agencies together, to have an actual seat in the table, and to show that, yes, of course, science, math, language, they are all important, but equally important to have a better youth, a more critical thinking populace. We need the Department of Culture to stress that.
note of that, of course, and thank you for your support for the creation of a Department of Culture. I'm convinced that we should go beyond merely strengthening the NCCA. It's just more of the same. We should really elevate it into a department. Yeah. So the right sizing issue will not be an issue because nandyan na kayo together eh. It's not like we're creating something new because you have RAs creating certain agencies, isa GOCC, iba may kanya-kanyang mandates. We will rationalize that and you have budgets anyway, it's just putting it under one and strengthening it because it's cabinet level, like in other countries, ministry level. But we have to see all the RAs creating each agency under the present NCCA. So the next question, I already answered it. How does the proposal align with the government's ongoing right-sizing and fiscal consolidation efforts? Because they're going to bring this up. Would creating a new department be financially would it be financially be viable? So there's a Government Optimization Act. Bagong RA to, no? It mandates the rationalization, streamlining of government functions, etc. Particularly the principle that the creation of new agencies must be justified by the elimination of redundancies and consolidation of overlapping mandates. So I bring this to NCCA and all those under you. May overlapping mandates ba kayo? May redundancies? Pagtanungin kayo, bakit nyo gusto? Ito'y labag sa right sizing. Nagbabawas nga, dadagdag ng departamento. How do we answer that? Yes. ED Carminda?
Yes, under this, the bill, the NHCP supports the creation, the establishment of Department of Culture. Pero as earlier mentioned by Sir Eric, there are overlaps and redundancies that have to be addressed. So kagaya ng dito po sa bill, sinasabi dito na NHCP will be an attached agency. However, dun po dun sa bill, meron pong kine-create na isang bureau na basically doing same function ng NHCP. Siguro sa technical level na lang po 'yon, pero yun lang naman po yung mga overlaps na gano'n.
Kasi nga, ngayon, commission kayo, kanya-kanyang mandate. When we have the department, naka-attach pa rin. Pero, yung department, meron din siyang functions on historical work. Paano yun? Kayo nag-draft dito, NCCA, explain it to me. I want to understand. Tama yung point ni ED. Paano yun? Paano kaya yun? Sino ba kasi nag-draft nito? Ha? Way back. Sino?
Madam Chair, I was part of the
Yeah.
crafting.
Ipaliwanag nyo nga, duplication. Kung nandyan ang NHCP, tas meron din kayong NHCP tasks na ginagawa ng departamento. Paano nga ba yun?
Yeah, actually, Madam Chair, when we were trying to do, especially the structure of the DOC, we put into matrix all the functions of the different existing cultural agencies. And, well, to really be candid about it, pagkait ng bureaus, a lot of the mandates of the cultural agencies will really be entering into the bureaus as well. So, that at the onset of the crafting of this, parang magiging bureaus po talaga yung mga existing cultural agencies. However, I think in terms of alignment, when we do the technical for this, we will really have also to lessen in terms of the functions and try to identify the areas of the gap, and that would be what will be placed into the bureaus that are created under the department. If indeed the existing cultural agencies will continue to exist as attached agency rather than be transposed into the bureaus that are being proposed.
We will continue to exist as an attached.
Yes,
What
Madam.
happens to their functions which are similar to the functions of the department?
We
Ano
will
yun?
really have to rework the functions that we are placing into the bureaus in
Ma'am.
that respect, Madam Chair.
Bureaus under the newly created department. Hindi na dapat doblehin yung ginagawa nila.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Baka policy kayo. Tignan nyo nga yan, dapat.
Like
Oo.
regulation, for
Yes.
example. Mga regulatory functions. So one option is to centralize them under department or to field them out to areas of specialization. Yeah. So
The NHCP is a good example of how things can happen. It can continue as the NHCP under as attached to the Department of Culture for policy matters and to decide historical questions, because we need a commission that's the historical commission needs to be autonomous of government, no? But with regard to the line functions of the NHCP, such as maintaining museums, giving permits for structures under 50 years old, etc., this might, I mean, if they're willing, this can be devolved to the Department of Culture. So may mga functions sila na services versus policy and historical
Correct.
determination.
Where should the policy be? In the department?
Under
Under the NHCP?
as a separate
Where
commission?
should it be? Under the commission or under the department? And
I
then
would-
the servicing and maintaining of museums, where should it be? Under them?
Under the department, but
Under the department.
But the commission will be discussing, will be ruling on historical matters. You know, when there's a controversy like the Limasawa issue, sila magdi-decide nun as an independent commission.
yeah, and
As
other
autonom-
matters that require historical research. Kasi historians ang nasa board ng NHCP eh. Yeah.
That's one modality,
One modality.
but that needs to be ironed out.
Do is to see all the laws creating the commissions and GOCCs under the NCCA, which will be hopefully elevated to a department. Which of those are redundancies with the others, and which can be elevated to the department level so that they can focus on other tasks and strengthen it
Yes.
there. Diba?
Ma'am, at the same time,
Yes.
you have a situation where you have, in terms of cultural institutions, you have your national champions like the CCP, the National Museum, the National Library, but there are a plethora of other performing arts centers, museums, archives, libraries that are separate from the national champions, if you will. And those should be supported, regulated if need be by the department. Yeah. So, because like the National Museum doesn't regulate museums. We have very little regulation of museums, but what little there is, at least in terms of policy and coordination, is in NCCA already. With libraries, the National Library doesn't regulate libraries, nor does the CCP regulate performing arts centers. Yes. Yes, po.
May I request the
But-
authors of this bill, kayo ang nagbigay sa akin ito. All these questions being discussed now, time is never enough. Himayin ninyo. I think, although we'll have another open hearing, but we can also have a technical working group. Ano ang mangyayari sa created by law na ahensya under NCCA, yung duplications, ano ang mapupunta, ihati nyo. Either create new functions or take away existing functions to strengthen the remaining functions. Whatever the agencies are agreeable to, not based on personalities or turf, because this goes beyond us, but based on what it should be. So you have something more to say, Eric? Yeah.
Madam Chair.
Me?
Who was that?
Dr. Cepeda po from the DOST National Research Council of the Philippines. No. Aido po, Dr. Aido Cepeda. Tungkol po ito dito sa kahalagahan ng binabanggit po ni Madam Chair na pag-aralang mabuti itong mga koneksyon at pagtutulong ng mga ahensya sa ilalim ng mga iba't ibang pangkulturang institusyon. No? Ang National Research Council of the Philippines po ay may pondo para po sa paniliksik tungkol sa pangangalaga ng ating kalinangan. At isa po sa katunayan, tinutulungan na po natin ang NCIP, ang DOT, ang Nayong Pilipino, ang IA, no? At sa iba't ibang pamamaraan ng ano ang pwedeng magawa para po pag-aralan ito. Pwede po kaming tumulong sa inyo para po pag-aralan yan. Kasi ito po ang bahagi ng aming mandato. Sa katunayan, Senator Legarda, meron na po kaming pinondohan na inyong request para po sa cultural heritage at nagawa na po ito previously. At ito po yung nais naming ibahagi po sa inyo na pwede po kaming tumulong para pag-aralan itong mga pinag-uusapan po natin. No? Tingnan yung mga batas at may mga eksperto po ang aming ahensya para gawin yan para sa inyo. At may pondo rin po ang ahensya galing po sa aming Research to Policy under GAA. At ito po ay kailangan gastusin. Kaya po, ino-offer po namin yung tulong ng DOST NRCP para po gawin ito para sa inyo. At kung gagawan po ng TWG, we can also be part of that.
Okay.
Thank
Sige
you.
po. National Research Council of the Philippines, right? We met long ago. Yeah. Tapos, it's a small agency pero napaka-useful. And meron na kayong ginawang saliksik dito? Wala pa?
Nakipag-ugnayan na po yung isang bahagi ng NCCA na kinapacitate po namin yung research unit ng under po ng so pero yung pong full
all hearings and share with us your research. Kumbaga, kasama po kayo sa committee, sa secretariat kasi kayong in charge of research. Yeah.
Opo. Sa katunayan, Senator Lauren, Madam Chair, ito po yung aming iminumungkahi dun sa review ng bill. Kasi napansin po namin, hindi kasama yung siyensya, yung agham, dito sa pag-aaral ng kultura, napakahalaga ng pananaliksik ng agham sa kalinangan. So baka po maganda dun sa komposisyon ng NCCA board, baka po may representasyon ang DOST para po matulungan kayo sa larangan ng pananaliksik. Salamat po.
Kasi ang mga miyembro ng NCCA board ay ayon sa batas. Yung isasama NCIP at DOST, kailangan maribisa ang batas. But that's the expansion of the NCCA bill and not the Department of Culture. In the meantime na wala yon, we can always have an invite for both the NCIP as observers. O guests in every meeting, but I leave it to the chair to decide. Maganda, makakatulong sila, di ba? Oo.
Siguro 2 points lang, Madam Senator. Number 1, talagang welcoming ito, no? Yung opportunity na to na nandito sa NCIP, nandito yung NRCP, and sa pagbabalangkas siguro ng bagong forma na minimiti natin as DOC, no? Patungo doon sa DOC. At maganda rin kasi nandito yung pinaghahainan natin ng sining at kultura sa larangan ng edukasyon, ng turismo, ng komersyo, no? Yung buong spectrum nandito, nakikita talaga nila ano ang buhay, no, ng pagmumungkahi natin ito. Ang sa atin lang, yes, kailangan ng mas malalim pang saliksik dito, lalong-lalo na sa pag-thresh out, paano natin hihimayin ano ang larangan ng ating attached agencies vis-a-vis ano talaga ang gagawin ng ating DOC. Nakikita natin na true yung sinabi ni DG Barnes na marami sa ating iba pang mga cultural agencies or elements, wala doon sa universe na kanilang kinasasakutan like National Museum. Maraming museums na wala pa doon. Maraming mga cultural centers na wala naman talaga, hindi naman under ng Cultural Center of the Philippines. No? So, may roon talagang bigger universe other than our national cultural agencies na dapat ma-encompass at ma-embrace, no, ng isang DOC. Nakikita natin yon. Pero ano pa ang cultural services na pwede nating ibigay, ipaparallel ba natin ang services nila, no, na under na ng DOC na mas malawak, or meron pang kakaiba pang serbisyo na pwede natin ibigay na hindi rin natutugunan ng iba pa natin mga cultural agencies. So, these are areas na I think definitely it goes beyond policy making para sa DOC, even in the area of coordination, no? Pagpapastol under what drumbeat na dapat i-compass natin sila para lahat talaga ay tungo sa isang developmental framework, no? So this should be the ones that we will be working towards to, no, as a Department of Culture. So yun lang yung nakikita ko rin talaga, no, as a lead agency, ito na ang uupo talaga na kalibel ng ating iba pang mga cabinet ministers. So it is very important that let's push for this, and kung sino talaga ang germane dito, no, na iba pang ahensya, attached agencies, hopefully we can come up with really a complementary composite, no, para iisa ang boses nitong departamento.
How do we align this with the Creative Industries Act? Ano kaya yun? Complementary?
I think okay. Ang
Is
creative
DTI is here, yeah, but find out paano yun, yung Department of Culture, will it overlap with the Creative Industries governance? No. Will, let's say, cultural workers, how do you differentiate cultural workers, creative industries workers? Nag-overlap yun, eh. Artists, cultural workers, those in, well, heritage and indigenous na sa cultural work yon, pero minsan nagka-crossover na rin sa creative industries. Eh?
Yes.
Yeah. How will we do
it
that?
inevitable talaga mag-overlap sila. Magkakaroon ng gray area. But the concentration will be different. Kasi si creative industry only becomes an industry the moment it becomes scalable. The moment magkaka-metrics. The moment mag-decide ang isang creative mind na uulitin ko ito at ibebenta ko ito. Uulitin ko ito, yung magma-market na siya, uulitin niya kasi may iba siyang purpose, no? Na kailangan meron na siyang peso sign, meron na siyang act of exchange, no? Act of bartering. So, the moment na ang intent is really just for art's sake, for the well-being, for a higher purpose of divinity, I think that is more on the cultural side, no? For the uplift of the good, the well-being of the community and the people, no? That is on the side of culture. Kaya nga ang ating processes dito sa core group, it's really generating arts, culture, promotion of the artistic genius. Doon tayo. But it is inevitable na i-crossover mo. The moment you perform, magbebenta ka ng ticket. Industry yon, no? The moment na yung basket, gagawin mo ng 5 beses kasi kailangan sa palengke. No? Industry na yon. Pero the moment it is there, really to transmit to the next generation to this is part of the offering of a particular practice of a ritual that is still arts, culture, and heritage. No? So mag-overlap sila. I'm sure Design Center also emanates from that. No? Yung design, imagination, and processes nila, they cannot do without working with the artisans, working with their imagination. They have to get some hugot somehow from somewhere. And that's culture. Kaya nga foundational si Department of Culture. No? We have one bureau here that touches on the cultural industry, the creative economy. But I think that is a bureau that will provide the bridge, the seamless bridge to the translation to the other attached, unattached agencies, to the other departments. That's the translation. Kasi hindi rin nila alam saan sila aangkla sa Department of Culture. Like for example, if the National Museum, every time they do all their statistics, they are really doing this kasi they would like to know their profile in the overall tourism agenda of the whole country. But how will they make this stronger? No? Kasi they also need some drumbeat from the DOT. Kasi they are germane, they are part of that whole intent. But for them, conservation is prime. They have all the objects, they have all the materials, the artifacts, but conservation should be there because it's the memory of the people. But the moment they will provide an exhibition that will generate revenues, funds, people for tourism, creative yun eh. That's an industry.
Magkaroon ka ng lecture about that. Aside from the makakain ka ba, which is 20 years old, yung delineation and overlapping, which is not bad at all. Kasi nag-emanate lahat sa kultura. At ang kultura, kailangan talaga i-conserve, i-preserve, i-protect. Kasi kung hindi, walang creative industry. Yeah. Tapos sa mga workers dito, yan, should be protected kasi nag-branch out into those who use it for livelihood, which is still protecting. You pass it on and then you have to have livelihood. Big or small, MSMEs, malaki. Yeah. So maganda. Yes.
Madam Chair.
Icho.
Madam Chair.
Yeah, Madam Chair, we would like to add on to Sir Eric's presentation. We would like to note that early on when we submitted this to you as a bill, it was already projected. Wala pa pong ano nun eh, creative industries po noon. But we are seeing already the spectrum that from the creation and from our work of conservation and preservation, it will really have to go into the economy because sustainability would only be possible if we are able to complete the cycle of getting economic value or putting economic value to all the creations that we have. So there is really, as had mentioned by Sir Eric, a Bureau on Cultural and Creative Industries because that time, wala pa po tayong PISIDA. So, yes po, Madam. 2013 pa po ito. Tapos naunahan po tayo ng PISIDA po. Oo. Kaya that time, we
Pa ang pag-enact ng Creative Industries Bill, ito ang tagal na.
Yeah,
Kaya napapanahon na talaga. At nauna pa ang
na ini-envision na
foresight
natin. Opo.
ng NCCA
na magkakaroon ng
Creative Industries
Opo.
na naisabatas 2019 or 2020, pandemic nun.
Oo.
So ito, palagi na sa back burner. Kasi
Kaya-
parang ang tingin namin nun, ang hirap, department. But actually now, it's being clarified.
So really, it's projecting na may relationship po talaga yung creation into the industry. Thank you po.
Madam Chair, may I add something? I'm glad that this Attorney Pichay, I'm the director of the Senate Library, and I'm also a cultural advocate. I used to be, I was previously the legal counsel for the NCCA. Previous na rin. And NHCP, yes, and the National Library as well. I'm glad that the subject of the objective of the Department of Culture has come up, no? And I want to point out that in this current bill, one of the provisions says, and I quote, "The department shall continually review the state and seeds and seeds of culture and arts in the context of the country's developmental goals. So in a sense, Chair Eric's comment that it should be related to something that is to be eaten, to be consumed, to be nourished by is correct. But I also want to point out that culture and the arts need not be related to commerce. Because commerce, if you relate art to commerce, it subsumes the creative spirit to something that is totally the subject of the market forces. So may I refer to what the Ministry of Culture in France says about this, and I quote, the objective of the Ministry of France is to make accessible to the greatest number of people the important works of humanity, and especially those of France, to ensure the largest audience for French cultural heritage, and to support the creation of works of art and the spirit that enriches it. So if I may make a recommendation, I think the primary purpose of the DOC should be the access to the arts, because access to the arts means the absorption of our generation to something that is beyond them and something that will make them realize that we are a nation and all of that, and also the creation of art. And then secondarily, the context of the country's developmental goals.
Much. I'd like to talk more about the DOC, but we have other bills. Kaya naman to those who joined us and they're not heard. So what we'll do is, because we have remaining...
May I make one
20
short
minutes?
comment, Madam Chair?
20 minutes? Yes, Chair Laya.
Yes, I was thinking that really the NCCA has done great work in the years that it has been in existence. It has good people, it has a good organization. And so I was wondering if, it is only fair to call the Department of a Department of Culture as the evolution of the work that has been begun by the NCCA, and that the new department is founded on the organization and the work of NCCA, rather than saying that NCCA is abolished, etc., that it is presented as the foundation of this important development.
Thank you for citing that. There was no intention to make it seem like an abolition, but it's an evolution to a higher level from a commission or a council that was created by law, but really upgrading, I don't know the better term, evolving into a higher level nga, so that it's elevation. Yeah, elevation, yes. And working or building on the work yet so that it did so well all these decades, no? When was the NCCA established? How many years? 92. Okay, that's 26 years.
The other thought I had, Madam Chair, is, there might be a bit of confusion with the GOCC, rather the CGC, and by Commission, Good Government Commission, kasi they have authority over government-owned or controlled corporations. And in the case of the CCP, they look after us. And so with the creation of a department, I think it might be appropriate and at least minimize confusion if the work of the GCG vis-a-vis the attached agencies is transferred to the department. Otherwise, parang doble-doble yung reporting.
Note of that. Thank you very much. We will create a technical working group to flesh out the duplications, redundancies with the mandates under Republic Acts that created the institutions under the NCCA. And we proceed to the next bills, but we still need the NCCA here. So is it clear we will no longer hear the expansion? What was the name of the other bill? Huh? Strengthening. Yeah, hindi na yan, no? Kung desisyon natin ay Department of Culture. Oo. Yes. Okay. Yes, from DBM. Ms. Ramirez, Director Ramirez. Thanks.
Salamat po, Madam Chair. Good morning, everyone. Hearing the discussions po on this forum, we would like to bring into the table lang po certain observations or findings, initial comments po from the Department of Budget and Management, pending the submission po of our official position paper, Madam Chair. For the improvement po of the bill, perhaps later on when we conduct the TWG, we have observed that under Section 12, Madam Chair, of the bill, various service level offices are being proposed for creation. We deem that the bill could have a general provision lang po stating the fundamental services po of a department. Other service level entities po could be created later on pag meron na po yung Department of Culture with the approval po of the President na. And then on the earmarking of funds, Madam Chair, it is the position of the DBM that in general po, we discourage the earmarking of funds for specific items of expenditure in as much as it limits the flexibility of the government to efficiently allocate public resources. And we have earmarked po 10 million initially under the bill. And then, Madam Chair, we've been hearing yung sa right sizing or sa government optimization program. It is another position po of the department that considering that the bill proposes to undertake major organizational changes po in the cultural sector, we would like to refer to the implementation po of the government optimization program under RA 12231, which we have been working with since 17th Congress po, and finally napasa siya sa 19th Congress. So the GOP naman po covers all departments, agencies of the executive branch, and there will be a study that will be conducted by the Committee on Optimizing the Executive Branch to determine po kung ano yung optimized structure of the agencies po under the executive branch. So maybe we could consider that po. Thank you.
Yes, in the TWG. Yes, so that can be incorporated.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. You'll decide kung sino sa TWG, hindi lahat sila, di ba? Kayo. Make sure nandun yung DOST research, tas DBM, syempre. Okay, thanks. So, we will suspend lang, no? Kasi adjourn, and we'll have the TWG in relation to the Department of Culture. I'd like to hear a dissenting voice. Kung meron, wala ba? Walang nagdi-dissent na hindi kailangan? Nakalimutan na ito? Baka nahiya kayo. Wala. NCCA? Oh, kayong gumawa niyan eh.
Kukuhanan namin, ma'am, namin ng picture kung may magdi-dissent.
Matagal na pa nag-inip to ni Ino, pati si Jeremy, lahat kayo. So, that's like 6 years, 12, 13 years. Hindi 2013, before pa. Final lang noong 2013, pero matagal ko na ito naririnig. 207, 204. Tagal na. Napapanahon na. Yeah. Kayo nila Sedja noon, pinag-usapan nyo. Mga 207 pa yan eh. 204 pa yata. 1998 pa nga eh. Ha? Oo. Basta ang mga department na rinig ko, Department of Culture, Department of Water, Department of Fisheries, author ako lahat yan eh. Kaya lang ayaw nga nila mag-create. Pero hindi naman to created. It's really rationalizing. Like water, importante yan. Kaya ayaw ng mga ahensya magsama-sama sila. Ganun, may resistance. Ganun. Anyways, kultura, baka magawa natin. Kasi nagawa ko yung aking climate eh. Climate Change Commission lang nga. Anyway, sige. So, kulang tayo sa panahon, pero mahalaga din ito. Kaya I decided pagpatuloy natin yung ating music bills. What we'll do is read into the record the bills. Laika, although you read it na kanina. Sige. We have 3 bills on music.
Yes, Madam Chair. We have Senate Bill number 826, an act creating the Music Development Council of the Philippines, defining its powers and functions, appropriating funds therefore and for other
Kaya lang
purposes.
to Music Development Council na naman, ano yan, under NCCA. Huh? Under OP. Eh, creation na naman to eh. Wag na. Ako nag-file ito eh. Galing din sa inyo to eh. Oh. Ha? Wag na muna to. Yes, yes. Kasi pag creation na naman, nakakapagod ang creation. Nakakahilo na tong creation. Wag na muna. Oo, ang dami. Ang council, nakakainis na eh. Commission council, hindi talaga. Sorry, I mean, I shouldn't talk like this, but no, I filed it. Yeah, wag na muna, di ba? Focus na muna tayo. Feel free to tell me na wag na muna, kasi council na naman ito eh.
Madam Chair, we have other bills. Yung Senate Bill number 1128, an act promoting and mandating the usage of Filipino music in hotels, resorts, airports, radio stations.
Teka, yung aking council, wag na muna yon. Oh, next, yung isa.
And then lastly, you also have the Senate Bill number 827, an act institutionalizing rondalla training programs for music teachers. Madam Chair.
Ito mas doable pa to. Promoting and mandating the use of Filipino music. Kay Senator Marcos. And the other one is, saan yung isa, Shari?
Ito yung kay Sen Aimee.
Yung rondalla saan?
Ma'am. Ito ma'am yung rondalla.
Okay, again, this came from NCCA. Promoting the use of Filipino music. Okay? In all our... kailangan pa bang batas ito? I-promote na lang ng DOT. But it's a bill of Senator Marcos, and the other one is institutionalizing rondalla training for music teachers. Is this needed? Do we have to enact it in law or gawin na lang executive admin decision ng NCCA?
Ma'am, kailangan nyo daw mag-suspend per council.
Huh?
Para mag-swap yung resource persons.
No, I suspended already. I suspended the Department of Culture that will be reformatted, what do you call it, to be a technical working group. Now we proceed to our other hearing on music, right? But we're not hearing the Music Council. Yes.
Give time for the resource persons.
Ibang resource persons. Okay, dear. Sige. They'll know who's staying and who's not. NCCA will stay, right? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So those who were here for the Department of Culture, we're grateful for your presence. I think the others are relieved. They are not forced to be under the DOC. Yes. So you may leave. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. And so that's off your mind. Yeah, we'll continue to support you in the agencies where you belong, as always, right? Okay. And then we go now to music. No longer the council, but to institutionalize rondalla and to mandate the use of Filipino music in our establishments. So my question is, kailangan pa bang, so upo na po ang mga music resource persons. Kailangan pa ba itong isabatas o gawin na lang ng NCCA? Batas ng batas eh. Huwag na. Di ba? Gawin na lang, ha?
Program na lang po to support.
Grants program. Oo. Ano? Hilig-hilig. Ano? Tatanong ko sa inyo, NCCA, kailangan pa i-institutionalize ang rondalla training?
Ma'am, si former commissioner.
Ayan, yes. Okay. Arvin.
Yes, magandang tanghali, Madam
Kasi
Chair.
nandiyan na rin, gagawin natin to. Kaya kong mapasa ito.
We discussed this under the Committee on Music, and the NCCA. I was the past chair of the Committee on Music. We feel na itong bill na ito, pwede kasi talagang more on a program for the training. Ang kailangan, if ever we're going really to expand for the institutionalization, it should not be only rondalla. Because rondalla is a select tradition, and we're talking also of other traditions in the country. We discuss also, for example, like other musical forms like symphonic bands. That is symphonic, which is a tradition in Region 4, for example. Region 2, they have symphonic bands. So symphonic bands po. And even yung mga bands for sa Bulacan, Region 3 also, very strong on these traditions. But in Mindanao, for example, some areas do have rondalia, but they are more into the indigenous forms. So if ever we're going to pass a bill, it should be more expansive. That the training should be localized on what the musical strengths of the regions. Opo.
Please recognize those who have not been recognized. Yeah, ComSec. Then we'll get back to you, Arvin, DDG. Thank you to those who participated in the Department of Culture.
Yes,
And now
Madam.
for the promotion and institutionalization of rondalia and other music forms around the country. I like what you said. We'll expand it to that.
Yes, Madam Chair. For this set of bills, we have from the Bureau of Internal Revenue, Attorney Edgar Allan Reyes. We also have from the UP College of Music, Dean Dr. Maria Patricia Brillante Silvestre. From the CEU Conservatory of Music, we have Dr. Angelito Arian Jr. From the PWU School of Music, we have Professor Christopher Borella. And then we have from the Kapisanan ng mga Broadcaster ng Pilipinas, Mr. Zunic Dao. ABS-CBN Corporation, Attorney Athena Ariando. GMA Network, we have Attorney Rolando Rafael. From the DZBB, we have News Manager Rowena Salvacion. From the National Telecommunications Commission, we have Ms. Annalisa Buenviaje. That would be all, Madam Chair, yung mga additional po. Thank you.
Just note that I will be absent from my commission on appointments at 12:30 para kakahiyan naman dumating silang lahat, matapos ko lahat ng bills. Tapusin ko na. Okay. Sa musika, tama si Arvin, si DDG Arvin, na hindi lang rondalia. Tama yon. Paliwanag mo, so therefore we change this whole thing and we institutionalize rondalia and other music forms all over the country and mandate its promotion, the training, we fund the use, and then it's something the DepEd can do for the children. Ang ganda. Can you explain? And then we will hear from DepEd and the College of Music. And Ched as well.
Madam Chair, the data I'll be presenting is based on our music summit. We created a roadmap before, yes, and this was in Dumaguete, wherein the sectors from music tried to pitch in what should be the direction. Now, with regard to the bill, because this is about training, we do support that. That's very much needed. That you talk about training really to early on. No, it's not only just from the DepEd or basic ed, but even up to the higher education. You want something like really sustainable in terms of music education. But we would wish that this proposed bill will be expanded, that it's not just rondalia. It's the whole music resource we're talking about. So if we empower DepEd, for example, that means DepEd has to be empowered which particular strength in the regions that they have in terms of the music resources. So, of course, we do support rondalia. It's a very important music tradition. But we also leave that the regions to choose. And I think it's not just the training, not just the curriculum, but even can go as far as even the creation of musical instruments. That's why we're talking of not just DepEd, even TESDA, because there's a dearth in terms of musical instruments that we cannot really use inside the classrooms. And I think the UP College of Music has a good project with the OST with regard to the music, the bamboo instruments. So these are one of the wish lists that we had, that it should be very comprehensive. But with a bill like this, that means teachers, the DepEd will be more empowered. There will be budget that would come with it. And of course, it's more sustainable in the long run. Madam Chair.
From the College of Music, please. And then DepEd.
Good afternoon, Senator Legarda and our colleagues in the arts and culture. we were assigned to review Senate Bill number 826. This is an act creating the Music Development Council of the Philippines, defining its powers and functions, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. We would just like to inform everyone that the input that we have here this afternoon is from our college executive board at the moment, because this is yet a draft. At the onset, we wish not to waste any more words. We approve SBN 826 with significant recommendations. We believe it's high time that we have a bill like this. We also express our profound gratitude, of course, and appreciation to Senator Legarda for introducing this bill, which represents a significant and pivotal legislative effort to institutionalize much-needed support for the Philippine music industry. This bill validates the gigantic and important role the creative economy plays in national development and recognizes music as a nation's cultural soft power, essential to policymaking, building national identity in modern contexts, driving economic growth, fostering diplomatic reach, and humanizing the nation, or making us a nation, as what was all mentioned earlier. Senator Legarda's explanatory note articulates the bill's gist excellently, and while the bill's primary goal is to foster economic and cultural growth through the creation of the Music Development Council of the Philippines, an assessment of the bill itself reveals both strengths and areas which may be further threshed out. What we admire about the bill, though, is that it allows room for flexibility and working through perceived boundaries. And this bill may become deeper in perspective and application through additional input later on. Again, we appreciate the efforts of Senator Legarda and the Arts Committee, and as I said earlier, it is high time that a bill such as this, of serious intent and purpose, be in place for the good of Filipino music. Thus, we approve SBN 826 with significant recommendations. Ngayon po, we have prepared a position paper with some, it's a bit detailed, but I would just like to go to the main points. Maraming mga terms that maybe we will need a kind of a definition of terms at the onset to define clearly what cultural heritage means, what OPM in particular means, what Philippine music and Filipino music mean, aside from other technical terms like lyric and melody, kasi hindi naman ito ang mga salitang ginagamit rin sa ating mga katutubo. Vocal music, siguro, or vocal sonic expressions. There are so many nuances to all of these terms to be inclusive. Also, while it is mentioned in Senator Legarda's note that singing in particular is a cultural trait proudly embraced by many Filipinos, we all know this from the past as a cultural trope that defines the Filipino. But the bill needs to encompass the wide range of Philippine music forms and expressions outside of singing and OPM. Okay.
These are your comments on the Music Council.
Yes.
However, earlier, the NCCA said na wag na muna tayo mag-create ng councils. So we're discussing this anyway. But we take note of that. Because earlier, I think there was a comment, baka hindi pa po kayo nakaupo doon. Sabi, wag muna yung council kasi ang dami natin councils, commissions, etc. We were discussing the rondalia and other music forms.
So rondalia. So
But that's
Senator, we move
inputted
on.
anyway into the record.
All right.
And we appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yes.
So we move to the rondalia.
Yes.
Okay. So Dr. Dali will take care of that.
Before that, can I have 5-minute CR break?
Okay.
Yes. we proceed not with the Music Council anymore, because I heard the NCCA say earlier, let's not establish too many councils first, but we were discussing the Rondalia and other music form training programs. We heard DDG Arvin and the UP College of Music. You know what we do, since we heard the, did Ched speak earlier? Not yet. Yes. We can hear you speak now, and this is regarding the Rondalia and other music forms, or were you prepared for the Music Council?
It's for the Rondalia, Honorable Legarda.
Okay. Could
Okay,
you please?
so with regards to Section 3, implementer of the Rondalia Training Act, can we include the higher institutions and professional music organizations to be part of the implementing group?
Yes, because
Yeah.
based on our bill, it's just basic education, no?
Yes.
Lagay natin ang higher ed. That's okay with you, di ba? Kayo bang nag-file nito sa akin? Dati? Saan kaya nanggaling to? NCCA din nanggaling ito eh. Sa inyo din nanggaling to. Oo, lahat naman ng culture bills ko, kayo ang nag-draft para sa akin eh. Okay, kayo ito. Baka before your term. Oo. Yes. Yeah, higher education is fine.
Okay, thank you. That's all. Thank you.
Yeah. What I wanted to do, since there's other work waiting for me there, and I really apologize for this, nag-overlap, is to, again, compose a music technical working group to see, can we put these two bills together? Maybe not. The mandating of the use, baka pwede. The two bills, mandating the use of Filipino music in establishments and institutionalizing Rondalia and other music forms, ipagsama na kaysa dalawang trabaho. Pwede yun. Yeah, it's the music bill. Wag na muna yung council, creation of councils, that's another bureaucratic level. But whether it's institutionalizing in basic or higher education or providing training programs yan, marami. And then promoting and making establishments use it, parte na yan ng programs eh. So, ipagsama natin itong 1128 ko at saka 827. No, sorry. It's Senator Marcos, not mine. Senator Marcos is 1128 and 827 is mine. The Music Council, we will hold that first. Then we create the Music Technical Working Group. Then I'll assign whoever's in charge. But NCCA should always be there in the TWG since you were the ones who gave me these bills. I'm sorry we cannot hear the other bills yet.
Yung
Huh?
waling-waling daw kung pwede na daw po discuss ng mabilis. Mabilis lang daw po yun.
Saan yung waling ko? Aka na dear. Itong waling, parang
Para
napasa.
matapos na.
Okay, yung waling kasi, napasa ko na yan dati. I passed it. It was vetoed.
Yes, ma'am.
It was enacted into law. Look at, that's how long I've stayed here. Kailan vinito? 2013. Grabe, talagang trabaho ko dito. Final ko to siguro 20 years ago, napasa ko 2013, 13 years ago, vinito ng presidente. Ayaw. Bakit? Kasi, ang national flower natin, sampagita. Ang sampagita naman daw, introduced species, di ba? It is an introduced species. It is not endemic to the Philippines. Ano yung sampagita? Dinala ng Nino? India.
Yeah.
Oo nga dinala
Yeah,
ng India.
in ancient
Although,
times.
I love sampagita. Sana nga mag-propagate na mas marami. Wala nang sampagita eh. Dati sa Laguna, marami. Wala na akong nakikitang sampagita farms. Ito naman waling. Ito talaga, at saka yung waling, iba-ibang klase, di ba? At meron yung kailangan proteksyonan dahil maraming humuhuli o kumukuha ng waling sa kabundukan at sa mga forests. So this is really an integral part of our biodiversity. I'm not saying sampagita's not integral, but this is equally perhaps even more. But for some reason, it was vetoed in 2013. That was Aquino administration. So, ginawa ko na lang as a second national flower. Baka pwede naman yun. I don't know what you feel about it. If there's a national flower, that's a second. I don't want to belabor the point. I don't want to stress over it. Ang dami ko ng stress at iniisip. So, kung magkakaroon pa ako nagkaaway dahil sa lambulaklak, ayoko na. Di ba? Oo naman. Sampagita ba o waling? Baka mama, i-bash na naman ako dyan. Bakit niya pinapalitan? Ay, naku, kasi lahat ng sinasabi ngayon, lahat may, syempre, may kontra, ganun. Ayan, yan. So, yes, DG Barnes.
Yes, I remember well the various congresses tapos when it was vetoed by President Aquino. If I remember, the president's veto message was he didn't think it necessary to have a second national flower. That was it. So this might, well, of course, the president is different. Times are different.
No, was the veto message second national flower? No, because 2013 was national flower. Tapos ito, ginawa ko second national flower. Pero alam niyo, kung mag-debate ka sa bulaklak, talaga.
Yeah. But Senate. Pero Senator, if you did want to, there are other countries with more than one national flower, or we could single waling waling out as the national orchid.
Tama.
Yeah.
Correct. It was Dr. Emilia of Bulletin who mentioned to me, it's a collection of waling. And he said it could be a national orchid.
Yes, ma'am.
Magaling
Because we have
yan.
many
Yes.
Philippine endemic orchids.
Correct.
And this is the queen of them all. It's unanimously.
Walang magagalit dyan.
Oh, wala po.
Magagalit naman sa akin sa Mindanao dyan. Di ba? Ba't ko pinakikailaman pati bulaklak? Hindi, gusto ba nyo? Saan ba nanggaling to?
Chair Ino.
Na sino nag-draft dito? NCCA na naman to eh. Long ago. Or DNR.
Hindi dati yung mga
Ma'am.
orchid groups.
Oh, yeah.
Ma'am,
Yung mga orchid.
it's very important to honor the waling-waling
Ayan,
because
kay Ino nga galing ito.
Hindi. Because it is the mother orchid of many of the most important orchids in the world because of its size and it's the beauty of its color. So it's the basic genetic material. It provided the basic genetic material for example, one of the most famous orchids, Vanda Rothschildiana. So that's it. And then also it is honored or considered by what group did you say?
Mga bagopo.
Bagobo as sacred, and it's part of our cultural context in the sense that there are movies named after it, there are streets named after it, etc. So it really needs to be honored. It deserves to be honored.
May I have the position paper of each group present here who wishes to submit to us? If you don't have it now, maybe we change the title to our national orchid
tama yan.
Yeah, national.
rather than second national flower. Pero pangit din yung second national flower pag para kang mistress or not mistress, para kang dyan ka na muna, ikaw dyan. Oh. National orchid. Yeah, with all due respect to mistresses, I mean, I didn't want to. Why did I say that? No, ibig ko sabihin, parang tabi ka muna, pangalawa ka lang, pangit. What was my first bill? Was it national flower? Bakit ba Vinito? Tagal na nun eh. Aquino. Bayaan mo na. Sige na. Hindi na mahalaga.
So I think NCCA supports the national orchid proposal, no? Kasi kung second national flower, may third national flower siguro. Or fourth national flower.
Indonesia has 3. One of which is the Sampaguita also. Yeah.
Sampaguita din sila?
Opo.
But there's no ranking. What I mean, there's an ordinal, di ba? Ordinate ranking. They just consider national flower.
Yeah.
So for this one, it's nice that you have a national orchid like waling-waling. Parang napaka-predictable na nga ano eh. Of course, waling-waling is just overly
i-focus
popular.
natin yung preservation ng kanyang biodiversity at kung saan siya at saka yung database kung saan siya nahahanap na ecosystem sa Mindanao, anong mga bundok, anong mga forest areas, because I understand there are different kinds of waling-waling, di ba? Iba-iba. How many kinds are there? Sino bang expert sa waling-waling? Hindi tayo...
Itong mga hybrids, ma'am, there are over 100 hybrids na may Vanda ang name nila. So that all indicates they're from waling-waling.
Kasi even that alone can spark a conversation. You can have an exhibit of Vandas. Vanda yan ang general, tapos iba waling. Tapos even among that Waling and the people who live there and the kind of ecosystem in which it thrives. And then you must protect it. So, manganganak siya ng storya. And it's really, it's not just, oh, maganda, flower. Hindi, ano siya it's a conservation, environmental conservation, and biodiversity issue as well.
Ma'am, if I may, before we move on, well, number one, naka-feature siya sa National Museum Davao, yung Waling-Waling. And number two, walang mention of any cultural agency in this bill. It mentions DNR to protect it, of course. But if you wanted to include a cultural agency, we're more than happy
Yes.
to be the
Okay.
one.
It should be National Museum to preserve and conserve
Yeah.
it.
Since
and
we
to
have
do
our
research.
botany division.
Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. We'll put that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Senator Marcos was peeping. It's her bill. Yeah. Sorry lang kasi I have a meeting. So we stop at Waling. Oo. Yeah. Last, yung culinary. Can you check yung tawag ko, Shari? Sorry that I have to rush this. Culinary heritage. Again, did I pass this already before? Hindi
No,
ba?
ma'am. Last Congress, ma'am,
Pero
na
parang nag-hearing
nag-TWG po last Congress.
Huh? Yes. Okay. Culinary heritage, nag-isang hearing lang ako. Walang committee report.
Wala po. Until TWG level lang po, ma'am.
Nahiya ako sa inyo, but I'm being called. Could we kindly ask you to submit, una, put into the records the hearing in the previous Congress. Second, to submit the position paper on culinary heritage. This is not naming any, hindi to yung capital, di ba? Yung ginawa sa Pampanga. Benito din yata yun eh. Oo. Yeah, it's really preserving, and whether or not this is enacted into law, which is a low-hanging fruit, I think it can be enacted into law. Allow me to reiterate my support always for Philippine culinary heritage, documentation, preservation, promotion, activities, programs. Yeah. So maybe short statement from Jam and Ige and Mr. Nick Dow. Yeah.
Good afternoon, Your Honor, Senator. We, the Ugnayan Senate Astronomy, have submitted a position paper for the Senate Bill 822 for the Heritage Culinary Act. We basically support the vision of the bill. And basically, I submitted our position paper, and it's already outlined
Sige.
everything that we wanted to say
Okay.
in the bill, our reaction.
Just note that we have a pending publication 2-3 years ago pa, ha? Please
Yes,
do it
I know,
with
yeah.
Reggie Aspiras, yes.
Yeah.
And we take note, kindly submit it, insert into the records the position paper
Yeah.
of the group.
And then what I'm in fact having a meeting with NCCA with regards to the logistics of the book project.
Okay, yeah. And in all these bills, NCCA is embedded in the TWG, yes. Mr. Nick Da, KBP, that's okay. Yes, and Jam, the culinary movement.
Senator, I just wanted to emphasize, dun sa bill that we are petitioning, sana po we look closely dun sa national celebration of Filipino Food Month because it's an emerging national celebration, and without the support of DA and NCCA, dahil ang dami na pong gustong LGUs na mag-celebrate, even the consulates and embassies,
Okay.
they just don't know how to do it, how to roll out. Importante po kasi itong April na i-continue po natin every year.
The declaration of Food Month every April is a NCCA declaration or is it a law? Presidential declaration.
Executive
So
order.
that has the effect of a law. It's a PD. Kaninong administration yon? Matagal na? Duterte time. Okay. So that's upheld, no? Unless it's repealed. So, okay. You're saying that it should be more promoted. Yeah. The NCCA it doesn't mean just because it's NCCA sila lang. Anyone can actually promote it if it's a PD. Could be the legislature, could be local governments, could be NGOs, could be the chefs, could be NCCA. Yes, so I think they support it, no? We always have, You always have food month activities.
There is an interagency that is doing that. DA,
Okay.
NCCA, and of course the group of Chef Jam.
Oo.
And also with DOT,
Okay, so DOT,
NCCA, and
yeah, let's bring
DA.
DOT in. Then meron pa akong funds from 2025 sa DOT for promotion activities. Di ba DOT, hindi pa natin nagagamit yung naka-FLR ba yun? Okay. Sayang, gamitin for food month din yun. Yeah. So let's bring in DOT, NCCA must be there. Yeah, Department of Agriculture, of course. Maybe we can have, pero adjourned tayo nun, an exhibition here on the food sources. Kasi it's not a matter of yung masarap lang yung palate hindi This is really food sources, different kind of plants and trees, herbs, dami Oo. And of course, it's livelihood. Wait, yeah, okay. Wait, tinatawag na ako. So, we'll create a TWG with the NCCA. Yeah. Yeah, yung tatlo. Culinary, the culinary group, and the music group. And the flower group? No more.
No more na, ma'am.
Tatlong TWG. Yeah. And if I need to have another hearing, I'll call. But TWG na muna. Then I'll designate kung sino I can even show up in that.
Ma'am,
Kinakulit lang ako doon.
on the Waling bill,
Yes.
since I think we heard from everyone, I'll send you a position paper with suggested amendments, and then no need for TWG, siguro. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, para dalawa na lang. Music and food.
Yeah. Thank you.
Department of Culture, TWG, then music and culinary. Thank you. I'm so sorry that we were interrupted many times, but thank you very, very much. Okay, suspension. Yes, we suspend it. We're not adjourned. Thank you.